What's up, y'all? Van Man. Sitting up in the parking lot, Walmart parking lot, and to get me a list together before I go in, because that's the way I like to go. I prefer to go into a store. The best way to go into a store, the best way to control spending, or at least be aware of your spending, is to make a list before you go in, because you can have one thing on your mind, and before you know it, you're coming out with half a bucket full. These unintended expenditures. But yeah, have a list. But that wasn't the only thing. You sit here, as I was, sitting here trying to figure out what else I may want to write down before I go in. I kind of people watch. That's why, there's no need to have cable. As much as, everybody's on the go nowadays anyway, it's your best form of entertainment is your phone carry anyway, because you're always on the go. You're mostly watching things on your phone, like me. But you notice things. So I'm sitting here, and man, this life's a trip like that. I'm sitting here, and as I'm thinking of things to put on the list, I'm noticing this cat, not a cat, not an actual cat, but a dude, younger white dude, and he was running, not at a fast pace, but like a light jog. But nonetheless, they have those sidewalks with the trees in them. So he was running not parallel to them, but he was running across them. So that required him. What I'm saying is, I thought he stumbled out of my peripheral. I thought he stumbled. And maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. But, he kept his regular pace. But that, right there, my peripheral catching that sparks my interest, because, come on, let's face it, as humans, man, we're kind of like attracted to, drama or whatever. Drama / comedy. We wouldn't want him to hurt himself. But I just, you make up a scenario in your head, and it was kind of like, when I thought, and no, he kept jogging. But I said, man, what if he stumbled? And you're jogging, everything, your pace is interrupted then, because if you clip the front edge of that curb, that your foot, it's all you gotta hear is that. Oh, then you're stumbling. Then you went from a jog, to recovery mode. And in recovery mode, man, you're in the parking lot. There's all kind of objects in your way, stationary objects. Those rail things for the shopping carts, trash cans, light pole bases, vehicles. And while you're in recovery mode, man, I was thinking, what if you had to choose between a light pole base or a vehicle, like a truck? Both of them are stationary objects, but a light pole base is definitely stationary. You know, about the first 4 feet, concrete, sticking out of the ground, you know, with the light thing on it. But a truck, I guess, if you got to pick, while it's stationary, you know, the wheels will roll a little bit, and maybe that'll absorb, because you're the front of you stumbling, trying to recover. And that's another thing, you should go with the fall. I learned years ago, a lot of times people get hurt. Where the getting hurt part comes in is not going with the fall. You know, while your weight is already shifted that way, you know, like turning into a, you know, tuck your shoulder, turn into a barrel roll or something, you know, and whoop, you know, maybe pop back up on your feet. Make it look like you intended to do it. But, well, a lot, you know, a lot of the, you know, that's where sprained wrist comes in, because you're trying to, and sticking the wrist out, that's the last ditch effort to try to save, I don't know what. Well, you can't save nothing now because, you know, you're parallel to the ground. You're already, you're gonna, you know, you're taking the L. Everybody's seeing it. You've caught other people's peripheral now. So that's where, you know, go with the fall, you know, try to, and I try to remember that. Yeah, but like I said, he's stumbling, you know, recovery. You know, just like you see a NFL receiver, college receiver, any receiver, you know how they running and stumbling and trying to keep it together to finish out. Yeah, you're in that mode and you're stumbling across a parking lot. And I don't know, maybe you can control the stumble and you have to choose quickly. This is like, has to be like lightning fast. You got to choose light pole base, truck. Now, you know, like I said, you know, it's sort of like, do you want to be eaten by, would you rather be eaten by an alligator or a crocodile? I mean, they're both horrible choices, but I just need you to pick one. You know, that's what kind of like what that is. Light pole based truck. Think about that. You're stumbling and you're trying to recover. Now, you know, like I said, maybe the truck will absorb because, you know, you're gonna hit it, but you know, you'll make the wheels roll. Unless you hit it hard. But the light pole base, you know, like I said, first 4 feet sticking out of the ground, concrete, rigid. That's not going anywhere, bro. All of the forward energy that you're, no matter if it's done. You're done in some fashion, either way. I mean, at least the truck, but I mean, you're gonna hit, you know, with these big tail lights and things like that, you're gonna hit that, and there's a risk of getting cut. Well, you know, high bumpers. I mean, that's that's kind of smart. Light pole base. Like I said, you know, there's no rolling. There's nothing to roll. All energy will be, you know, but you got to make that decision. What? In the hundredths of a second. Bro, this just went from making a shopping list to deciding just how hurt are you gonna be. Wow. Thank you for watching That Way.